kular hakani kesni. Mangantrei hok yaki kamjong. Hop do.
Kikubor Kapatisi TV.
Manus nam daki lakbon ki bakwa penpinda be ke MBBS Henry Kindiat e ki bapas ke admission kalapli ha Emmanuel Coaching Academy epi join menta pinyo e ki kod bat ki e-materials kindon ru ki mock test ban pinkrai api na kabenda ka neat.
Chairman Jinghikai State Food Commission uba DP Wahlang uloong ba Meghalaya Administrative Training Institute kadeban pelong ya ka Jinghikai Pyntbit Manla kapor ya ki Nongtrei Sorkar bakindup la Mantrei khambha ya ka kam ban shakri ya ka jala ya ka niula penpau ha bakren kum ukong san ha ka reflection first annual conference bala pelong da ka mati ha ka khat artri ujliu aza pun riu ha ka bala ya shim bentalang da ki officer bakin Nongtrei ka Sorkar jala Hagani sngi la pelait pat ba ya ka capacity building plan but ya ka annual training calendar arza upon rio arza upon yau ka jing pelait pat ba ya ka kot lingkadom jang ka mati but kiwe haga jingalang la pen ku buram ru ya ki shphongot ki resource person kum ka jing ithu ya ka jing treshi tom ka jongki but ya ki shphongot ki top 10 performers haga integrated government online training.
In Mati, we are trying to increase as many training as possible. Of course, we have a limitation on the resources, but we are trying to make it better in the coming years. Because the strength of governance, I mean, as you can read, is people, and training is the bridge that transforms potential into performance. Many people have potential, but is it really converting into performance? Is it really converting into good governance for government of Meghalaya? So that is why the role of Mati is extremely important, and we believe that we want to take this to the next level in the coming years. So now what has happened in all these, let's look back. We, of course, Mati started way back, but we shifted to this beautiful new building which you all of you have seen in Mati, and we started with doing a lot of training needs assessment. So this is something which not many people perhaps know, that first of all we have to see. So as of now we have 247 trainings. Last year 25-26 we did, this is the highest probably, 247 trainings were completed, and we are showing here 100% completion, which is actually more than that. So initially we planned for 200, but there's something called demand-based trainings which come up from time to time. Some department writes to us, we want this training to be done, so that has to be factored in. That cannot be in the training calendar, because for example for this year 26-27 we have already released the training calendar with 197 trainings, but in the course of the year many departments will come, and already we have received many requests that these trainings have to be done, these ITPs have to be done, so we have to cater to that. So eventually Mati ends up doing more than what we plan in any training calendar, but the point here is that in the current scale we completed whatever was planned, so that itself is a good achievement.
Transparent, accessible and modern training ecosystem. Let us applaud this achievement for Mati and forward-looking initiative.
Digital governance and administrative efficiency, Mati has successfully welcomed to the future of administrative efficiency. This is your official guide to accessing digital training certificates from the Meghalaya Administrative Training Institute. In line with our commitment to digital governance and administrative efficiency, Mati has successfully integrated its Training Management Information System, or the TMIS, with the Government of India's DigiLocker platform. Previously, obtaining training certificates involved manual registers, physical printing, and transit delays. Today, through the seamless DigiLocker integration, every certificate generated by Mati is securely pushed as a digitally verified, legally compliant document directly to the cloud. Whether you are a state official or a program participant, your official training records are now safe, tamper-proof, and accessible instantly, anytime, anywhere across India. Let us now look at the simple process to fetch and save your certificate to your digital locker account. Step 1. Access the platform. Open your web browser and navigate to digilocker.gov.in or open the official DigiLocker mobile application on your smartphone. Log in securely using your registered mobile number, Aadhaar, or username along with your 6-digit security PIN. Step 2. Locate the search section. Once you are on the main dashboard, locate the left sidebar menu on your desktop computer or the bottom navigation bar on your mobile device. Click on Search Documents. Step 3. Find the institution. In the search bar, type Meghalaya Administrative Training Institute or simply type MATI. Select
This merits a resounding support from the audience. Thank you, sir.
So these are the glimpses sir, of the different workshops which have been done, and different programs. All the departments had attended. So big workshop to finalize. Multiple workshops have been done to finalize these plans, and finally 47. Sorry, I stand corrected. These plans, and now all these plans are ready. And this tool, in fact, is still. I mean, will always be available if any department has been left out. If you want to use this tool at any point of time, please feel free to reach out to Marty. So this was all about. Anything else? I request our AD to add if I've missed out on anything.
About maybe a couple of weeks back, 3 weeks back, the football calendar was not there in my mind. So obviously when he said that we are having this conference, we want you to have as a chief guest, I said, oh, no problem. Because I didn't know, it was not there, like, the 11th of June at 10:30, you're likely to suffer from FOMO, fear of missing out. So you want to be this function, this inauguration, that inauguration, FOMO. Once you retire, you suffer from JOMO. JOMO is joy of missing out. You don't want anything, you just want to be alone, have a good afternoon siesta, enjoy your life, and don't expect any call. The phone doesn't ring, it doesn't matter at all. If the phone doesn't ring when you're in service, FOMO. It means something is wrong, why people are not calling me. And when you retire, it's JOMO. If it doesn't ring, you're very happy. But when he called me and said that you have to come for the this function, this inaugural session, so Swapnil, being Swapnil, always so serious, I couldn't say no. Because I know he must have put in a lot of effort, a lot of teamwork must have gone into organizing this function. So I said, okay, I'll come. And the evidence is here for all of you to see. I would like to congratulate the director, Mati Swapnil, and also the DG, Cyril, who's not here, and all the team of Mati for such an excellent arrangement. This is the first annual conference that is being held by Mati. Mati is 36 years old. 1990 you started, I think so. I've not even joined service at that point of time. So after 36 of its existence, this is the first annual conference that we're having. So congratulations for that. Congratulations for the vision that we have. And if you notice, in the excellent presentation made by both Swapnil and Dr. Vijay, so much effort has gone into what Marty has done in the last couple of years. I remember when I joined service, Marty was barely in existence. We came from, of course, from the academy, in the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy, so we were quite okay trained. But the state civil service officers and others were hardly trained. So when there was no training, what were the senior officers? I asked them, so you're not training the officers who have joined the civil services here in the state. So what do you do? Like, how do they go to the field, and perform? After all, they'll become SDOs, many of them become DCs and all that. Senior officer jocularly told me a story. He said that when you go and join in a certain position, like for example a BDO or an SDO civil, your predecessor will give you 3 envelopes. And he will say only one thing. Whenever there's a crisis, please open these envelopes, 3 of them. First crisis, open envelope number 1. Second crisis, open envelope number 2. And third crisis, open envelope number 3. That will solve all your problems. No need of training, this Mati Shani, no need. Because we didn't have Mati at the time, it's not active at all. So this officer went, joined, senior post, very happy, everything fine, files are moving very fast and all that. Then first crisis came. So he said, what shall I do now? He opened the first envelope. What was written inside the envelope? Blame your predecessor. So he went and basically, when the topic came, he blamed the predecessor. It's his fault, he did this, he did that, all that. So, got over it. Then life went on. Second crisis came. What to do? He said, okay, no problem. He opened the second envelope. The second envelope says, reorganize your department and form a committee. So he did that also. He reorganized the department after this crisis. He reorganized the department, he formed a committee, and then they had discussions, all that, it got over. So everything became hunky-dory again. Normal course was resumed. Then, after some times, the third crisis came. He said, it's time for me to open the third envelope. And the third envelope, when he opened, the message over there is, prepare 3 envelopes. So be ready to pack, basically. So that was those days when we didn't have a MATI, when we didn't have any ATIs, the Administrative Training Institutes. It was that, groping in the dark. So many experience of, coming to the field and realizing that there were so many gaps in the training. So many gaps in the training. But after seeing the annual report, after seeing the activities of MATI that they have undertaken in the last 1.5, 2 years, I feel very encouraged and emboldened to say that the officers now are very well prepared with the realities of life, how to combat situations, etc., etc. The transition in training activities also has taken place, I've seen. There's more of a focus on digital governance, more on gender budgeting, which unheard of during our time. We never heard about all that. Then emerging technologies. These are all terms which many years back, during our time when we started, we never came across these terms. But then the transition is taking place, and I'm happy that it's a positive transition. We have seen the annual report. I'll not go into all that because if it'll be just repetition. But if there are 2 things. No, there are things that we have to move in different direction now from the traditional model focused that we have in training on the rules. We were taught rules, rules, and rules during our time. Procedures, procedures, and procedures. And also the hierarchical administration that was there at a point of time has changed drastically now. So now the more emphasis is on training in complexity, which you have digital governance, behavioral science, then leadership training, innovation. All this transition has to happen slowly and slowly from all those rule-based procedures, and that is what is happening, and I'm happy about it. We need to be more creative as administrators. You'll have to go for systems thinking, complexity, governance, blah, blah, so many things. But 2 things only I would like to highlight here before I resume my seat. Only 2 things. One is that you have to embrace data-driven governance. You have to be trained in data analytics. We have seen that, the dashboard that was generated by Swapnil, all that is very helpful in not only giving a presentation like today, but also in your day-to-day activities, in your day-to-day management of your office, of your directorate, of your department. Dashboard governance, predictive governance, which is very, very important now with the advent of AI. And also geospatial intelligence, which is very important now. Everything is about drones, everything is about UAV, that is unmanned aerial vehicles. So all those also you'll have to take into consideration. And also last, open data systems. All these you'll have to train. You'll have to move in this direction. And the second point is that we have to be very, very cautious of one thing, that is collaborative governance. You have to train people in collaborative governance. We were trained in isolation, on our own, without involving other partners like the private sector, the civil society, the academia, which is very, very important. We have never interacted with NEHU. We never interacted with IIMs. But it's time that you get academia from IIMs, from NEHU, also to be part of the training process. We have to collaborate with communities. We have to collaborate with national as well as international organizations. So these two things, what is data-driven governance is very important, and second is collaborative governance. Yesterday, I had the opportunity of sitting with a very good friend of mine, the Maharaj of Ram Krishna Mission in Sora. I went to Sora yesterday. The best dosas in Meghalaya are in Ram Krishna Mission Sora. So if you want a good dosa, you have to befriend the Maharaj. He will make excellent dosas. And the food over there is par excellence. So whenever I have a craving for dosa, I give a call to Maharaj, I go and sit with him for a couple of hours. And apart from the food for thought too. Because whatever he tells you, whatever he discusses with you, it's so enriching to the mind. So yesterday I was sitting with him. So I met him after a long time, maybe 3-4 months. I asked him, Swamiji, what do you think is the biggest problem with administration in Meghalaya? We talk about education, we talk about health and all that. He said, you see, the biggest problem here is that officers tend to work in isolation. Officers tend to work in isolation. They don't have any spirit of collaboration. So when in your very, very important vehicle, you're moving around, not caring about what is there on the left, what is there on the right, it becomes a problem. You have to collaborate, especially in the rural areas, with communities. You have to work with the local institutions. It is very, very important to have collaboration, and I request Swapnil, who is the director of MATI, to incorporate all these important facets of administration so that the newly trained officers, newly trained staff who work in the field especially, they appreciate the importance of collaboration. Now, the way ahead for MATI, I have only a couple of suggestions. First is, please don't ignore simplicity. You'll talk about your machine learning, you'll talk about LLM, you'll talk about AI, you'll talk about so many complicated things and all that, but don't ignore simplicity. I remember, I'll tell you a story. After our training in a very fancy institute like the Lal Bahadur Shastri of Academy in Mussoorie, we came to the field. This is not only for me, I can confess that. It's for all not all, but majority of the officers who were newly trained at the time. So our first posting was SDO Civil, Sub-Divisional Magistrate, SDO Civil. So respectively, we went to different cadres and all the different officers and all that. I also went and joined in Myram. My first posting was SDO Civil Myram. Just see how we ignored simplicity during training period. In the academy in Mussoorie, we were trained by Duke's University professors who trained us from America, came and told us how to deal with the problems of India. That's a different matter. And then we were trained by IIM Calcutta. My own professors trained me, again, for the second time in IIM Calcutta. IIM Ahmedabad. Fancy things, big things, how to prepare DPR, this, that, my God. Then we were tested and all that, and we had to pass exams and all that, fine. But we forgot simple things. We had to read by heart, more or less, CRPC, CPC, Indian Evidence Act. We had to learn everything, exams, difficult exams, fine. Then when we took over, let's talk on myself. When I took over as SDO Civil Environment, I sat there. My predecessor handed over the sheet, I had to sign to take over and all that. No envelopes, he didn't give me And when he handed over the charge report and all that, he said, sign here, I signed, he said, done, I'm going. So he went off. After about sitting there for about 15-20 minutes, there was no briefing, no nothing and all that, a file came to me. Bounded and all that, so I opened the file. That's the only thing that I knew at that point of time what to do, open the file. Then I see these green sheets in front. Then I see the bulk of file material, the papers and all that inside the file. And to tell you very honestly, like many like me, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know that in a file there is a green sheet called a note sheet. We didn't know that, we had to write something in a note sheet. Nobody trained us. Nobody told us. I have never seen a file in my life. I was trained in the academy for 2 years in Missouri, but we have never seen a file. Nobody has ever shown us a file. So I called a Barababu, Batham. I remember it very well. I called Batham, getting a file, no. Like, Batham, what do I do with this file? He said, you read it? I said, yeah, I've read it. Now what do I do? What decision? I have to take a decision, what do I do? He said, you write a note sheet. I said, what is a note sheet? This green paper is a note sheet. He taught me everything, to tell you very honestly, because we were never trained in the academy. That's why I said, don't ignore simple things. This is the most basic thing, isn't it? And then he told me everything here, then he went off. I'm very sure that they must have had a good laugh in the canteen when he went and told this fellow doesn't know anything, he doesn't even know a file. And while playing carom over there, they must have had a good laugh. I'm very, very sure about that. But the fact of the matter is, it happened. We were not told. I've never seen a file in my life. Now I can smell a file. From far, I can tell exactly what is there inside the file, also what needs to be written after 35 years nearly. But at that point of time, I've never seen one. Therefore, the suggestion is, don't ignore simple things also. You can talk about making fancy DPRs, you have to now. Then you can talk about your AI, your open AI, your Meta, your everything, Anthropic and all that. But don't ignore simple things also, so that they don't miss out. Second suggestion is, which you are already doing, but continue, is to have a good balance, a good work-life balance, which I always say during training period also. I'll tell you another story about this. So I go on tour very regularly now, because I'm in the Food Commission. Job is very simple, to ensure that nobody dies of hunger. Nobody dies of hunger and nobody dies of starvation. So I have to go to interior areas, meet people over there. Are you getting your ration? Are you getting a midday meal? This, that, all that. So I went to Garo Hills about a month back. I asked the newly inducted MCS officers who were there, 2025 batch. I said, so how's everything going? How's your work going? They said, we are enjoying all that. Okay, during your training, what was the thing that you enjoyed the most? That you remember the most? You know what he said? Not Swapna's lecture. Not anybody of you's lecture. One of them said, the thing we enjoyed the most was playing a football match against you. And also, dancing to the tune that you people sang in the evening. Because we had a music session also in the evening. He said that was the most memorable one. So what I'm trying to say is that it's important to have all these extracurricular activities also. And also it's important that they be given a chance to participate in all these activities, whether it's your trekking, whether it's your morning walk, whether it's your 5K run, which is already there, which you've done a very good job, etc., etc. So maintain that, and I'm sure that they'll all reap the benefits of the training, because you have to be healthy after all. It's important. I'm sure now when new trainees come next time, 2027 batch or 28 batch, you'll have to take the measurement of their BMI also. The person who gets least maximum improvement in your BMI, then you should give them good marks. You did it last time also, yeah, I know, I'm aware of that. You see, it's so important. Today morning, you will not believe it, that Jaspal Rana passed away. Jaspal Rana, former Olympian, he passed away just 49. What I'm trying to say that it's so important to maintain a healthy lifestyle. 49 Olympian died, why? Heart attack. Ignored his health indices. So you have to be very, very careful for that. Maintain a good life balance. You can enjoy your life and all that, but ensure that there's some physical activity. So I'll resume my seat with one last suggestion. It's difficult, practically, I'll tell you, this is a practical problem. It is difficult for staff especially, not so much for officers, staff especially, to come all the way to Shillong to attend Marty's training. Very difficult, because coming all the way from Garo Hills, away from family, expenses, if a staff comes, there's no place for him to stay. Maybe in Marty you have limited accommodation, you cannot stay in Sorkar house, DC will say there's no place for you, they cannot stay in state guest house, they have to stay in some private accommodation, it's difficult. So therefore, have an extension of Marty in Tura or in Garo Hills. It is very, very important. Officers will always manage. They have a circuit house, they have guest house of different departments, but especially the staff, because you are making the training more inclusive now. At the lower level also you're taking trainings and you're doing a very good job at that, which is very important, and it's really an imperative in fact. So make sure that there is an extension of Marty in Garo Hills so that our brothers and sisters from Garo Hills can make full use of the facility there without taking the pain of coming all the way to Shillong. So with these few words, I congratulate Marty, the officers, and everybody involved in organizing this annual conference. I wish you all the best, and I wish that this annual conference is repeated every year, annually, and not end with your tenure one day. So all those who are in Marty, assistant directors, joint directors, please ensure that, because it's a good thing to meet all the resource persons. I'm meeting resource persons, many of you, after a long time seeing, and especially to reward those who did well in IGOT. I remember just about 1 year back, when we had a review meeting of IGOT performances, we were one of the worst. And then we became very aggressive. You remember, Swapna had called you to my room also that we have to do something about it. And so we became very aggressive. In fact, linking it with our PAR, that is our ACR also, and promotion also. We said that you have to complete some training programs under IGOT. That is how I think. So slowly now it has evolved, and I'm sure that you'll saturate it well.
Sri Russell. Dr. Jasmine Lindon, Shri Suraj Pinyopane,
Just give him a little bit more.
of the Deputy Commissioner East Jinghikai Hills area within a total learning hours of 330.61 hours. This is 237.58 minutes. Hours are 164.04. Next, we also have from Mati, Walambok. Then we also have Damichwa. From the Secretariat Administration Department, we have Shrimati Amar from Law A Department, courses of 69 numbers within 52.26 learning hours.
everything feels fast. I hear mom shouting and I'm trying not to be late. Outside, Shillong is already awake. Cars move slowly, horns are loud. It feels like everyone is in a hurry. Then the STEMS bus comes in, bright and yellow, always on time. The caretaker waves and I feel okay. Inside, we laugh and sing. We share snacks, we help each other with homework. It feels nice. My parents know I'm safe through the STEMS app on mom's phone. Because this bus isn't just a ride. It takes us to school with friends and a little bit of hope. This is STEMS, our ride, our future.